Oh, here we go. Live here on YouTube.com on this lovely Sunday evening. We are live here on the show with my guests tonight. A double bill, two exclusive interviews from two stars from XCF. We've got the first one on in right now. The Hammer is joining us on the end of the line, and we've also got as well another great star, Charles Colton. He's joining us in about half an hour or so stick around for that. You've not missed anything. But as I just mentioned, joining the show right this moment is the only great wrestler from XCF, The Hammer, Jamie Vincent. Welcome to my show.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for accepting to be on the show today. And of course, if you're watching this live or anything like that, feel free to leave any questions or any questions in the comment section below to ask for any future questions for my next time I have the Hammer here on the show. It's great to have you here today. And how are things at the moment where you are?
Things are going real good. Besides having this cold I've had for the last few days, but wrestling wise, everything's going real good. Like where I'm at, and hopefully 2024 I'm gonna spread out a little more, do a little more traveling, and just see where it takes me.
Yeah, see where works take you, all right. And let's talk about then the reason why you're here on the show today is because you're talking about XCF. Of course, last month we had the pleasure of having Shane Mercer on this show. And did you get a chance to see him on this show?
Yeah. Matter of fact, the last show we had,
yes,
he sent me a link. We was out to eat after the show. He sent me a link while we were sitting there eating, and I watched it a couple of days later.
That's cool. That's cool to see. So I'm glad that Shane Mercer is a great guest, great friend of the show.
Oh,
I love it.
He's something else now, I tell you.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go on the wrong side of Shane Mercer, tell you for sure. He's a mean man, just like you are as well in that ring. And I know in a few days' time, because this coming Friday, we're going to be in action at XCF Mayhem, which I will bring up in just a moment. But for yourself, really, what are you expecting from this fight then? Are you, what made you to accept it?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, I can. We know you're in action on the Friday, the 15th of December against Alex Cross. What made you to accept this particular matchup?
Well, it started back. There's a young kid called Mongoose, and I've kind of taken him under my wing here and there. Just trying to help him out, whatever. And he got into it with Age of War, which includes Alex Cross, The Statement, which is Congo Kong, Rodney Brush, James Kendrick. And there's times where, they've jumped him. I've had Age of War jump me, bust me open. And the last show we had, they worked Mongoose over pretty well, and I come out, broke it up, and Cross looked at me, had a few words with me. So there's only one way to settle that. So we made a match.
Yep, and that match you just seen on your screen just a moment ago is happening this coming Friday, the 15th of December, 2023, between Alex Cross and yourself at the Chesterfield, Indiana. Doors open at 7 p.m. Bell time is 8 o'clock in the evening. And what is your plan for that evening, and how are you going to try and topple Alex Cross?
I don't really have a plan. My plan is just go in and whoop somebody's ass. That's the way I do it. He's a really good wrestler. It's come a long way in the last year. But so have I. So, I just go in, do my thing, do what comes natural. And in the end, I'll walk out with my hand raised.
I like the confidence in you there, getting the job done this coming Friday. Are you a bit worried that he might find a weakness against you?
I don't have a weakness. That's why he does. He's in the tag team. He's in a stable called the Statement. You know, he's always got his backup, got his partners, this, that, and the other. And you know, this coming Friday, he's coming to the ring by himself with his manager. So, you know, it's pretty much gonna be me against him and his manager. And so I feel pretty confident about that.
Yes. Again, you're very confident. It's like you've done your homework. Obviously, you have, and you know. But I mean, there's a bit of an age difference between yourself and Alex Cross. You know, he's a bit younger than yourself. So would that come as a factor in the match?
I get this a lot. There's usually a bit of age difference between me and everybody.
Well, because you're a veteran. You're a veteran, though.
Well, no, not necessarily. But age is just a thing. I mean, hell, I'll be 51 at the end of this month, and I can still get in the ring, go as harder than 20 and 30-year-olds. And I mean, as long as I stay healthy and keep my exercise regimen up, and I feel good. I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it as long as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned about you've got certain fitness which you do to keep yourself in great shape for the ring. Can you go into details of what that involves, of how you keep yourself in good shape?
Well, I mean, basically, I go to the gym 3 or 4 days a week. I got a bicycle I ride, try to keep cardio up a little bit. I'll drive a forklift for my actual job.
Impressive.
And but there's days, huh?
Impressive, I said.
But there's days I also have to operate a tugger, which means I pull a little wagon, which means I have to take totes of parts and move them and stack them and this, that, and other. So that's pretty physical itself. And I just try to stay active. I've always been active. I ain't one to, just lay around and Thanksgiving weekend, I volunteered to work on Saturday because I didn't want to stay home, lay around for 4 days.
Fair enough. Keep yourself busy. That's what you have to do, isn't it?
And also, I want to add what you said a while ago about my age.
Yes.
And you ask Charles Colton when he comes on the show later. Shane, we was in a little training session one day, and Shane had us do some shoot wrestling, which is you try to do with it, not really wrestling moves or maneuvers, or you just try to get your opponent down and pin him one time, just like regular, like I guess collegiate wrestling, I guess you could say. And I pretty much went undefeated that day, and Charles was one of them.
Right. Small world. So let's talk about. Go ahead.
He'll probably try to deny it when it comes on, but.
Well, let's talk then as well. Like, what inspired you to come back to XCF as well? Then, what keeps driving you to come back every month or every other month?
Well, I don't know. I was raised up. Me and my dad watched wrestling on Saturday mornings every week, and I had the opportunity back, I guess, in 2007. It's kind of a funny story. My stepson at the time was wrestling in the backyard with Shane and several others, and my stepson needed a ride out there one day. So we gave him a ride, and, I could pull up out there, and, it was big, nice ring out there all put up, and think, damn, it's pretty neat. So So I get out there and they let me get in, run ropes a little bit, do some stuff. I was like, hey, so what's the fella got to do to, be a part of this? And
Mm-hmm.
they they run me through some drills and this, that, and the other. And so it kind of stuck. So I started doing that, uh, like once or twice during the week and on weekends back then. And actually, I got 2007 Wrestler of the Year, XCF that year. Or no, I'm sorry, Rookie of the Year. Sorry.
You're fine.
And so uh, November last year, Shane decided he was going to have like uh, I guess it was called XCF Resurrection.
Yeah.
He brought back all the old school people. We had a battle royal and stuff like that, and how back in 2007 we didn't have crowds and all that stuff, and so we was in a high school arena with crowds, and Shane offered some of us a chance to come back and actually make a legit run
Mm-hmm.
in wrestling. And at that point there wasn't no way I was turning that down, especially with people like him and others that stood behind me. I mean, I got to at least take a shot at it.
Yeah.
So over the past year, uh, I've I not only wrestled for XCF, which they are, I consider them my home base,
Mm-hmm.
but there's there's other companies I've been to, and just last month, Shane asked, he was looking for a couple guys to go down to Birmingham, Alabama, to do a show, and I volunteered. So we rode down there on a Sunday afternoon, me and Shane and Chase Evans, and they wound up putting me and Trace in a tag match. And by the end of the match, we had the crowd chanting, "Please come back." So, we got invited back to participate, and they're called Retinal Wrestling, and that's real nice people, and so it kind of keeps evolving, and I don't know, it's just something I love. It just keeps me busy,
Yeah. Yeah.
something I can be physical at, and I don't know, I just one of them things. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned as well, 2007, when you first, were part of the original XCF, and then all these years later, last year, of course, they decided to do a reunion show. Went so successful. I think it was successful more than what they were expecting it was going to be, and now
Right.
it's back as a full-time promotion, and it's great to see that as well, because
Oh yeah,
we need more variety of promotions, and XCF offers something different to the other promotions out there, and vice versa as well.
and this was something that probably none of us ever thought we would see, because back in them days, Shane always talked about it, and of course, he's traveled basically the world doing this,
Yes.
and so he never actually. I don't know what the deal was, but he never actually went through with it. So when he had after the Resurrection show, uh, I guess he had so many people willing to be a part of it that everybody wants to see him succeed, and everybody wants to see the promotion succeed and do well and flourish and just grow, and that's what we're trying to do. And if nothing else, I want it to happen for Shane. Because that's been his baby from day one.
Completely agree with you there as well, because he's thought about it for many years, and then it came a reality for him eventually, and get in front of real people, as you said as well, and that first show back as well last November, it was a lit show. A lot of things happened on that. You were on it, and you're still there today, and this Friday you get the chance to get another win under your belt by defeating Alex Cross, which I'm sure will be a very interesting battle, and it might be you know, you might find it as easy as you said it here on the show, or it might be a bit more difficult against the undomesticating Alex Cross. Because he, as you said, he will have his manager in his corner.
Well, I mean,
Might do some cheat dirt on you.
yeah, but I've been down that road. I've been cheated. I've been hit from behind. And also, he's more of a technical wrestler, I guess you could say, and I'm more of just like a strong style. So I'm not going in there to look pretty. I'm going in there to beat his ass.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And of course, we got a comment from Mike. Hello, Mike. He says hammer with I guess a strong arm pose emoji. So thank you for tuning in, Mike. Glad to have you on along for this edition of the show with Hammer and of course Charles. Of course, he is joining us around about just over 10 minutes time. I'm going to say. So tune in for that as well. We're staying on this show, so both people come on this show at different times. We've got the Hammer here at the moment, talking about his great contest with, of course, Alex Cross there this coming Friday night. But if we look at the rest of the matches you could see this coming Friday, you've got all these great bouts. You've got, of course, Santu Jin against Juicy Jimmy. He's had a busy
that
week.
one right there is the one I'm looking forward to personally, because I've seen Shane and Congo Kong, and I've been in the ring. I've been in the ring with Kong. I wrestled him probably 2 or 3 months ago, which was no fun, by the way.
I feel sorry for the ref, because usually he gets destroyed by Congo at the past these XCF shows. So I don't know. There's something happening there.
But to go back to Jimmy Satu, I've wrestled Satu, and he's a big, strong guy.
Yeah.
And I've never been in the ring with Jimmy yet, but I plan on sometime. And I actually know Jimmy pretty. He's a good guy. And but I look forward, because they're both close to the same size and both close to the same physicality.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one I'm looking forward to right there.
Yeah, no, I get that. Completely agree with you there. And if we go through the rest of the card as well, because by the way, sorry, I asked you for a prediction. Then who do you think is going to win between Satu and Juicy Jimmy?
Man, that's a tough one. I want to say my instinct tells me that for some reason I want Jimmy to go over.
Okay.
But if Satu decides to bring some of his rejects out to the ring with him, then they'll do anything to win. Whatever.
Fair enough. And then, of course, we've got some other great contests. You mentioned about Shane Mercer. He's going to be facing Congo Kong as well. Wadley Mack, I don't think's pleased about that decision. You can also see on your screen as well that you got Charlie Pierce, Nick Depp, yourself against Alex Cross is going to be there.
Yep.
Adrian Blackheart against Omega as well. You got Mikey Morton against Teasman Gump or Trashman Gump, and then you've got the tag team warfare, which we'll get into in a little bit, between Hardcore 69 versus Creek Water Syndicate, and that's gonna be a great contest as well. And of course you've got the Mystic against the Chance Prophet. Some fantastic matches happening on this card this Friday night. Of course, tickets only $20 at the arena in the Jeffersonville Arena, Indiana. So you want to be there, and you do not want to miss the last XCF show of this year. And speaking as well, before you mentioned about you want to step in the ring with Juicy Jimmy. Is that one of your top players you would love to get in the ring with next year? Is there anybody else you would love to step in the ring with next year?
Yeah, I'd love to get in the ring with Nick Depp. let's see. There's several on that card right there that I've already wrestled, but
Yep.
I mean, I would run them back anytime. Uh, but as far as the ones that I haven't, uh, you know, I haven't been in the ring with Aiden yet. Uh, there's so many other good ones and other promotions that that I'd love to get in the ring with, but and there's still a lot of XCF other guys too that's not on this card. But yeah, there's several more.
Who would you love to come to XCF? Then is there anybody you would love to come? You think, oh, he's a great star. Be so good to see him stepping into an XCF ring in the future.
Oh boy, that's a tough question. I don't know. That's really hard to say off the top of my head. Because there's already so much good talent in XCF.
Yeah.
But
well, you've had, of course, Dan Marth. He's come in, last November.
yeah, we did have him there.
We're meant to be having, that Shanky wrestler meant to be coming in at some point to face Congo Kong, whenever that's going to happen, if ever.
You're talking about Slack.
Yeah, Slack. If he's going to come in, I call him Shanky because he's a shank because he's too scared to come into XCF.
Yeah.
When are you going to show up? We're all waiting. The false promises.
That's not up to me. I can't answer that question. So
that's because you're not a betting man. That's why, because you know he will not come in because you're too scared about it.
I would love to see him show up, but I just don't know. He's supposed to be at some point, but I just don't know when.
Yeah. He's an urban legend. Urban legends don't exist.
Yeah.
Until I see otherwise, you will not be seeing Slack at any other show. Now, I want to mention as well your unique background behind you. I'm liking it. Can you go into detail behind it?
Yeah, it's this was all right. I ordered a lot of shit online, all over the place, and I'm into skulls and stuff like that, of course. And here, hold on, here's my matching pillows. But this was actually, I ordered what I thought was going to be a blanket.
Right.
And it's full size, and I thought, and by looking at the pictures I seen on the internet, it looked like it was all, sewn together like a quilt. So when I get it in and get it out of the box, it ain't nothing but what do you call those things you put a blanket inside of and zip up? I can't remember what you call them. Anyway, that's all basically. It's like you put a blanket inside of it, zip it up, and that's supposed to be a blanket. So this is just like sheet, basically.
I do like it. It brings your wall to life. So it's a great background piece to expose while you're on the show. I like it.
So I got a little mad over it, and I said, "Hell, well, I'm not going to use it for a blanket. I'm just going to stick some bitch up." And because this is a window right here, I'm in my bedroom, so I just stuck it over top of my window to keep light out, and that's where it stays now.
Don't blame you.
And whenever I shoot all my promos, this is where I shoot them at.
Yeah. No, I've always curious to know the backstory of that, and now we know. For whoever you're wanting to know that question, you now know, because we like interesting topics, and and we do have another comment from Mike. Thank you very much, Mike. Trashman Gump against Mikey Motor will be lit emoji. Heck, everything will be lit. I agree with you. It will be lit. Looking forward to Hammer and Jack hammering Cross. Yes,
that's right.
Yes, that's going to be an exciting contest. All the matches on Friday, the 15th of December, 2023, is going to be exciting. So you have to be there to see it all.
It's going to be a hell of a show.
Yes, it is. And we should mention as well your social media. We just briefly mentioned it just then. Show on our screen. You can find yourself on X Hammer _2007. and also on Instagram, _Jamie Vincent as well. Before we let you go, because we've got 3 more minutes before our next guest arrives, he's actually in the waiting room as we speak, so it's good to see he's on time. I like that. I want to know if you've got any advice for anybody who may be watching this and thinking, wow, if you can still go to the age of 51 and I'm near your age, then what do you think they should do to get in the business if they are deciding to? Because, DDP, for instance, he started about 38 or something like that.
Yeah.
Late 30s when he started to wrestle. So have you got any advice for anybody who may be thinking, I might want to give it a go?
That's probably one of the key things, probably why I'm still wrestling at this age, is because I started late. If I started, 18, 20 years old and been hard on my body all those years, and my body probably wouldn't be holding up like it is now. And I mean, if a person's serious about getting into wrestling, I mean, just take a step, go to your local gym, or find a wrestling school, or reach out, find somebody to talk to, ask questions, and just take it from there. Back in 2007, I could have kept going and chose not to at the time, but I didn't understand how things worked, and I was in a different place at that time, so no big deal. But it's like I told Shane, I said, I'm not going to squander on this opportunity this time. So even at my age, I'm going to do whatever it takes, as long as I can.
Yeah.
So.
No problem at all. Good advice there by the Hammer, Jamie Vincent. And one reminder there for you, Alex Cross versus the Hammer, Jamie Vincent. We wish you the best of luck for Friday night, and we'll see who comes out on top. And if your overconfidence of Alex Cross works out for you or not, we have to see on Friday.
All right, we appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining the show, and again, best of luck for you on Friday.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. No problem at all. We wait for Hammer to leave our interview. Yeah, and as he does that, we will bring in our next guest. I think that will work in just a moment. So we're just going to... we're still learning, people, so you have to be ready for 1 second. We're going to somehow get him on. Let's see. Okay, so we can still see Ham on your screen there. So
yeah, I'm trying to get off here.
Oh, no problem. I will do that. There you go. I will move you. Don't report you.
Yeah. Good.
There we go. Right. Okay. So, welcome to the show, Charles. How are you? Unfortunately, we can't hear you, however, so I don't know what's wrong with that, but we'll try and get Charles. I don't know if you can hear me or not, I don't know, but can you hear me? Okay, so I think you can hear me, but we can't hear nothing from you, unfortunately, so I don't know what's happened there. In the meantime, though, we are almost at 200 followers here on my Facebook page, so if you have not already followed my Facebook page, you just do so. We're almost at 200 followers there. Find me on Twitter as well, and also on Instagram. Those are my main platforms I use. We're still waiting for hopefully our guest to fix his audio, because we don't hear him. So maybe try to leave and rejoin, maybe that might work. So I'm just going to let's see. I think just love technology when it sometimes doesn't work. We sure do. And it's why it's live, because everything can go wrong. So we appreciate you hanging around with us this evening or this afternoon, depending where you're watching us from, on this Sunday, the 10th of December 2023. We're just waiting for my guest to hopefully rejoin us here in a few moments, because he's back. So he's now connecting to audio. Let's see if it works here right now. He's connected, and we can see that he's got an X on his profile, so we can't actually hear you. So we don't actually have any microphone input. That's why we can't hear you. So I'm guessing your phone doesn't have a microphone input. So we will. Oh,
let's see if it works.
so we can hear his volume. Oh, we can hear you now. I think. Try speaking.
All right, are we good on the
Yes.
audio?
Oh, wait, we got you. We've got you now. So thank you very much for that. Sorry about that. So as I will bring in now, the next guest is Charles Colton. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Yes, thank you for accepting to be on the show this afternoon, this evening. And I don't know how much you saw of my guest Hammer before he came on, because he did mention you a few minutes ago.
I caught the very tail end of it. I didn't get to catch his full comments.
No worries at all. We were talking about. Mike has said on our YouTube comments that Hammer broke Colton. That's hilarious. Yes, he did for a moment, but we got it fixed now. But no, I mentioned about how Hammer is an older wrestler against Alex Cross, and he mentioned about 2007, and he mentioned about how one of the people, he crossed paths with yourself type thing. So that was all really. But hopefully you're doing well as well, because you got an important matchup this coming Friday on the 15th of December at XTF Mayhem. Can you tell us what made you to accept the matchup?
Anytime that you get an opportunity to step in the ring with somebody with the legend behind them, like a Madman Pondo or like a Shadow WX, that's one of those opportunities you can't sleep on. They're very, very well followed around the world, very well known. So, the people out there that are going to be putting their eyes on Hardcore 69, they're going to have their eyes on us as well. Myself and my partner, Trace Evans, they're going to see us. So not only to learn from, legends like them, but also for the exposure and the experience of, knowing this may be, one of Shadow's last US tours, to be able to say, that I had the opportunity to be part of that.
Yeah, but personally, in my opinion, it might be a match you might regret doing after all, because, Madman Pondo, and his, great tag team partner, they do some violent things in their tag matches, So are you fully prepared? Are you fully knowing what you're going to get yourself into on, December the 15th in a few days' time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've had to turn up the violence a couple times myself. It's not nothing that I'm afraid of, nothing I'm a stranger to. I got a jacket on right now, but on the inside of my arm, I've got about 20 scars from wrestling with light bulbs when I was like 14.
Oh, there you go.
So I've been down some roads with with the violence.
But I mean, as we look here as well for this great match that you mentioned briefly just a moment ago, between yourself and your great tag team partner against, of course, Hardcore 69, they came over. I believe I want to say early this year, like tail end of last year, probably January this year as well, when they were tag teaming together before his tag promo back to Japan. But now he's back over here for, of course, again, as you said, possibly the last time they get the team together. So it'd be an honor for you, but it might not be the best night of your life, however. But I'm sure you've done your homework on there, and I know you probably got some weaknesses you probably worked out. And how are you going to try and pull it out to show those weaknesses to the fans? Just fight, okay.
Yeah, this will be, one where I'm not practicing my drop toe holds and my hammer locks. It'll be, practicing the hands and the feet.
Well, I mean, Hardcore 69, tremendous tag team, and so you guys as well. But what's going to give you the edge then? Just by fighting, or are you going to use some kind of, I'm guessing, some kind of hidden subject, I guess, to get the
I can't go into the full game plan.
Of course you can't, because
a magician never shows his hand.
Yes, very true.
But it's going to be that hunger, that I spoke about in the promo I did to accept their open challenge.
Yeah.
There's nothing more dangerous than a starved animal, and that's how we're feeling right now. We're feeling starved. We want some stiffer competition, and I think if you they say your first day in prison, you walk up and you punch the biggest mouth in the mouth. And I think that's kind of how we're approaching this. We want to be taken more seriously. We want to be recognized more, and just stepping up right there to two of the biggest guys in the game.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Two of the biggest veterans as well, because if you put those years of them both together, they got a combined lot of years under their belts as well compared to you guys, I guess. So, they may get the edge because they're older people. They got they've got more experience in the business compared to you two. But I'm sure it's going to be a cracking fight, and it's going to be a brawl, and make the best team win, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
So, tell me about, I don't know if you had a chance, but we had Shane Mercer on this show last month talking about XCF, talking about his goals in XCF. What are your goals in XCF then for 2024?
I've talked with Shane, quite a few times about helping to establish a really solid tag team division.
Yeah.
I want to be, one of the cornerstones of that. That's my main goal, as far as personally, and then from a company standpoint to help XCF grow, in any way that I can. I met Shane back in probably 2005, 2006, on a backyard wrestling forum. We had both wrestled in a similar area. He had XCF, we were a backyard promotion called AOW,
Right.
And we had a ring. So we had Shane come out, Corey Havoc, Aiden Blackheart. They all came out, got kind of that ring experience, to which then they invested in a ring and got their experience there. And we've seen, especially in Shane's case, what that springboarded him to.
Yeah.
And I'd be a liar if I didn't say that I was jealous of Shane and his success, but in the most friendly way possible. Shane's somebody who I have a lot of respect for. And I don't look at it as jealousy like I wish that were me. I look at it as a jealousy of seeing how far he goes and being like, let me see what I can learn from him to achieve that same success rate that he has.
No, I completely agree with that, because he's skyrocketed himself to places. It's probably you guys, when you first met him in those early noughties, didn't think in a million years you expect to see him to do all these crazy things, and look at him now, and hopefully in 2024 the same kind of stuff will happen to you as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I took a long time. My first professional match I had was in 2009. So I'm not new to it, but no. I took probably 6 or 7 years off from doing it. Until I got an opportunity from Shane to come back, and I'm like, I missed a lot of time, so I'm trying to make up for all of that now.
And I bet you as well, because when you took those years off, I guess it come as a career missing as well. Like, damn, I'm getting the itch back as well. Cause you
I always had it. Always had that itch.
You've been gone for so long, and then it's been quite refreshing to come back in to see what you've missed, or the newer people as well, which Shane and XCF have brought in over the past few months as well, since you guys came back last November, which is, I can't believe it's been over a year already, and you're going stronger and stronger each time there's a show on as well. So I hope that continues in 2024 as well.
Yeah, I've been able to learn from a lot of the mistakes that the younger me made.
Yeah.
I was notorious for shooting myself in the foot a lot. But now being able to come in and having a lot of guys now that that I'm older than, that I've got 10 years on, and being able to try to help them and teach them not to make the same mistakes that I did.
Yeah. But I guess
it's been fun coming back on a second round.
Good to see, and I'm glad you have a better experience as well, because again, we all make mistakes, and at least you can see what mistakes you've made, and of course now correcting those mistakes to not make them again, or even help the next generation not make the same mistakes. But when you coming back into the locker room about a thing, and you're seeing all these young people like, wow, I remember when I was that age, or like, oh, I can't believe that I'm this age now compared to this guy. I wish I was that guy's age again, as well. But I mean, who are some of the guys you would love to step in the ring with in 2024?
Yeah, it's funny. I was wrestling a show last night, and after one of the matches, one of the wrestlers had came up to me and he was like, "Hey, man, did you see this? How do you think this looked?" And it was really like jarring to be put in that position, just because I never saw myself as that guy.
Got ya.
But to get that, that kind of recognition, and to know that somebody was looking for my opinion, like it kind of grounded me a little bit, humbled me a little bit.
Do you think that opinion you gave when you give the answer back to that individual, do you think that they would take that advice, whatever it was, on board, and you think they might apply it in the next match they compete in?
I hope so. I've haven't started like as early as I did back in like 2009. There was a big changing of the guard around that time.
Right.
A lot of the older guys phasing out with their older mentality and mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And so I heard a lot of, you don't want to tell everybody everything because you don't want them better than you.
Right.
I don't believe in that. I believe, if a rising tide, raises all ships. Anything that I can give to help anybody, I'm glad to.
Yeah.
I want to see the wrestling business when I leave it, be better than it was when I entered it.
Yeah. No, absolutely, I agree with that. But it's funny, I never heard that advice before. That one about don't give too much away because they might come better than you. I never heard that before. Usually, all the people I've had on the show always want to give as much advice or as much guidance as possible. So that was something intriguing which was happening in before 2009, before the changing of the guard, as you say, back in the noughties, which I say was the best last good years. Even though we're only in 2023, I feel like those are the best years ever. Maybe it's because I was growing up in that era. I don't know, but I just feel like compared to then to now, I prefer the noughties all day long.
Yeah. Character wise, man, there's nothing better. I know going back and watching stuff, a lot of it doesn't seem like it's aged very well to today's society, today's societal norms. I know. And even, from a wrestling standpoint, going back and watching, and you didn't have the work rate everybody talks about now. You didn't have, 20 and 30-minute matches on free TV. You had 3 or 4 minute matches, but everybody got their character work in. You knew who everybody was and why they were fighting each other.
Yes, most definitely. But back to yourself then, you mentioned about being a cornerstone of the tag team division in XCF. I can see at the moment you do have a title belt behind you as you're sitting here. I like how you positioned that for this. So is that something you're going to be targeting then next year, is to becoming, a tag team champion in XCF?
Oh, absolutely. Not just XCF, everywhere. I want to be a gold collector in the next 12 months.
Be a little bit like the, I guess, like the bloodline, I guess. Get all the titles as possible and just hold them hostage, maybe?
Yeah. We, me and my tag partner, it's safe to say there's a couple things we probably borrowed from the bloodline. Watching them,
it's hard not to, though, isn't it? It's just hard not to do so.
You see that kind of success, it's hard not to be like, well, obviously something they're doing it right.
Yes, indeed. I can't disagree with that. But I mean, I'm just hoping you just don't defend them every 2 or 3 times a year, though. Hopefully you defend them every time there's a show.
If I could make the money they're making with the schedule they got, I think I'd be on something.
Well, I guess we will have to see about that. But let's just go through again the rest of the card, because I don't know, because people might be tuning in different times, because we had the Hammer on before, so those people might have disappeared. I got new people on since you're here now. And XCF Mayhem happens, of course, this Friday. Only 5 days to go or so before the big event, the last XCF show of 2023. Out of your match, of course, what other match are you looking forward to seeing on Friday night?
Definitely Satu and Juicy Jimmy.
Yeah.
I think that'll be amazing. Anytime being able to see Congo in the ring, I mean, he's like you can see him on TV. He's a big guy, but actually being there talking to him, I have unfortunately felt the wrath of Congo Kong.
Who hasn't?
I think him and Roddy Rush may have made a foolish decision in their choice of which tag team they wanted to bring on board with them. But at the same time, you know, I can recognize when there's somebody who's bigger than me, and I probably shouldn't step across too hard.
Well, you know, you mentioned about Congo Kong. He's fighting, of course, Shane Mercer. Any prediction for that contest? Because I know it's too close to call by many pundits out there. When that match was announced, it's one of the hardest contests to predict.
Yeah, I mean, because usually, you know, you see a match with Congo, and it's a pretty, you know, foregone conclusion. But, you know, when you got Shane in there as well, who, you know, can, you know, get in there with somebody the size of Congo, and that size difference is completely negated by the raw strength that Shane has.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a definite barn burner. And yeah, I have no prediction on how that match is going to go. I would not be in Vegas putting any money on those books.
Well, you know, it's quite hard to put a prediction on it because, you know, whenever Congo's in the contest most of the time, defending this peculiar Trips Championship he somehow acquired from Andy Mack, who I should say as well, he didn't actually win the bout because Andy Mack was never legally pinned. Because if you know that match, because Andy Mack should still be that Trips champion because Rodney Mack was the referee at one point and he was not the legally binding referee. So there's always been some kind of pull in Congo Kong's match, a lot of dirt going on. So, you know, are you impressed by what's happening in XCF? Do you think the management needs to get better at the jobs? Do you think El Luchador needs to get fired? Because I think so.
I think El Luchador should have been fired 15 years ago. He has never listened to me. I'm Mike Adamley level of bad general manager.
Yes, I know him. Oh, that was an interesting time, I have to say. But I mean, yeah, I think El Luchador needs to get a better fix on what's happening in XCF. That's just my opinion. You know, you got Congo Kong running around like a mayhem, beating up refs and other people. You know, it's just an interesting time. But hopefully Shane Mercer can shut him up. Maybe that's why El Luchador put him in that contest. Maybe.
I know what Luchador had, you know, been in talks with bringing Schlack in. To maybe try to stop the statement with Congo Kong there.
Yeah, well, we're going to Slack in just a moment, but of course, you can see, of course, Satus Jim versus Juicy Jimmy, who you mentioned a few moments ago. You've got, of course, Chance Profit in action. You've got Trashman Gump in action. Adrian Blackheart is in action as well. Of course, Hammer, who we had on before, is in action as well. So some really good contests, including your tag team match against, of course, Hardcore 69. All happening. $20 all the tickets. Spell time is 8 p.m. Doors open at 7 at the Jacksonville, Indiana, at the Arena, 1416 Spring Street. So be there or be squared, as I say. But back to what you mentioned about Slack. He's an urban legend. Doesn't exist. If he did exist, if he was a man, he would have shown up months ago. You know, he's a coward. You know, all this hype not come through. You know, if
I will say that was your words and not mine. This is a disclaimer. If Slack's listening,
I doubt he will be, because Slack does not exist. He's an urban legend. Unless I'm being shown, unless I see something otherwise, then I will believe that Slack is a real person. But until that happens, he's just this urban legend. Say that you get promoted. They say, oh yes, this guy's going to be coming. Charles will be in action on XCF in February of next year, for instance. We all know you'll be there because you're the man. You're not a coward like Slack.
You know, the announcement of Schlack's, impending arrival.
Pending arrival, yeah. Good words to use.
You know, I feel that announcement kind of overshadowed that, you know, just a moment or two before that, Creekwater Syndicate, myself and Trace Evans had actually gotten the 1-2-3 over Age of War just before that.
Yeah.
But we were unfortunately left laying by what I would consider a bad decision by Rodney Rush to let Congo attack us. We were completely blindsided. We had went in to that match kind of under the impression that Rodney and Congo were going to be, scouting. They were at ringside the whole time. We did what we had to do. Some people might say it was underhanded. I'd say that if you go back and watch the match, I thought Alex Cross was getting a little thirsty. I was trying to give him a drink. It may have accidentally gotten to his eyes, and it may have been, some bourbon, but we still got the win. And to me, that's what was important.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get those wins. If you don't get the wins, then what's the point of being there, isn't it? That's what you want to do is win, win, win. Like in football, you go out there to get the points. You might sometimes the points are, really great against teams who are considered as boys, and then there's other times where it's a very tightly contested game.
Yeah, the winner's paycheck doesn't have an asterisk on it. You won, but you pulled the tights, or you may or may not have spit bourbon in somebody's eyes. That's not on the bottom. It just says that you won.
But exactly right, you won. Doesn't matter how you did it, you won, and that's the bottom line. Look at me, I'm using all these different quotes there.
Myself and Trace Evans, we're both dads. We both have a lot of kids, and we both got to feed them. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to me being in the ring with anybody, at the end of the day, it's I need that bigger check, and I'm going to do what it takes to make sure that I earn it.
Yeah, no, most definitely agree with you there. Who are some of the people you have gotten to know then in this past year then at XCF?
A lot of the guys, I had grown up with. You were mentioning Alex Cross with his match against Hammer coming up Friday night. I've known Alex Cross since I was in my teens. My partner, Trace Evans, I was 9 years old. He was 7 years old when we met.
Wow.
He's been my brother, since the beginning. As far as newer people that I've met, that I've been able to, to build a relationship with, Jamie Vincent's one. Mongoose is another one. He was an XCF original, but at the time that I was working with XCF and the time that he was, that was on two separate times. We never really overlapped.
Got ya. That makes sense.
So getting to know him, he's been probably one of my biggest rivals this year. We've traded off a lot of wins. We've left each other with a lot of bumps and bruises. In the ring, I hate him. But outside the ring, he's a good kid.
Is that because you're jealous of him maybe in the ring of what he can do in the ring? Is that why why you don't like him?
It's a little vice versa. I think he's jealous of me.
Okay.
I think he saw what Charles Colton's able to do, and I think that he wants to emulate that. But deep down, he knows he's not as good as me. He can't be as good as me.
Fair enough. Completely get your point of view there, but I do think it's because you're jealous of him. But that's my opinion. Well, I don't own opinions. And the people in the YouTube comments, let me know. Do you agree with Charles? Do you think he's jealous of him, or vice versa? Let me know. I would love to know your thoughts on that. Have you got any other shows lined up after XCF, or is that it for you for Christmas?
So actually, the night after, December 16th, I'll be back at the arena in Jeffersonville for traditional championship wrestling.
I like that. I like that back-to-back nights.
I worked last night, wrestled a show down in Ferguson, Kentucky, for Triple Crown Wrestling, and then I got Friday and Saturday night both in Jeffersonville, and I believe that is it for me until the first Saturday in January. Not a bad time. That gives you plenty of time to recover and relax and enjoy the holiday season. And we look forward to seeing what you do. And of course, you can find my guest. We mentioned we said it briefly before, but you can find my guest on Facebook at Charles Colton, also on X Charles Colton KY, and on Instagram as well, Charles Colton _CWS. Long usernames you have, but I guess you got to keep your fans,
in the loop of different platforms and, keep their brains engaged, isn't it? Saying that I use different ones because when I tagged you on Instagram, I was thinking, I'm hoping that's the right person. So I'm glad
I
it
got to
was.
add the CWS branding on there.
Yeah. I think.
More than tag team or brand.
Yeah, no, I understand that. You got to keep it fresh and different. But I mean, how can you got different ones for different platforms? Like on Facebook, for instance, it's just your name, which is quite straightforward. And then on the X, you got a bit of a different one. On Instagram, completely different. What's all that about?
I had previous ones years ago that I had kind of used up, the Charles Colton usernames then, so I kind of had to change them up to make the new ones.
Fair enough. So you can't just go to X people or different people saying this is still me, just change me type thing, or just but oh well, I guess. But at least you got there, and at least you're there, and you can find him on all those platforms, and make sure you give him a like and follow or share him around to all your friends. Tell more about Charles Colton as well. Spread him around, and thank you very much for liking and following myself on social media as well, because I know when Shane reached out to you, you didn't know if it was me at first, did you?
Yeah. I was like, wait, because it was just the timing of it. I'm like, all right, wait, let me make sure this is the same one.
Yeah.
To be on, but yeah, I was honored to receive the invite. For you to reach out, for Shane to reach out, both. We're glad to make this appearance. To be able to be here. Help you help me, getting a little cross promotion in there. Always enjoy being able to do that.
Yes, and you're a part of the best kept secret on YouTube, because this is not a show where we bring you not just wrestlers or MMA fighters or boxers. We also bring a lot of musicians and reality stars and some even some celebrities in the mix as well, because this is a sports and entertainment show. You see what I did there? Because it's a great variety show. You join the great list of great celebs who have come on this show, like for instance Jazz, Rodney Mack, Eric Bischoff, Al Snow, Shea Mercer, to White Seth Fred. If I'm too sexy, do you think you're too sexy, by the way, when you walk into the Jeffersonville Arena in your
compared to the people of Jeffersonville? Absolutely.
Okay.
I may be a solid 7 out of 10.
Right.
In real life. In Jeffersonville, I am a 12 out of 10.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion, and I'm sure the fans will have their own opinion about that, and they might say I'm more sexy than Charles Colton, for instance, but that's up to a different debate.
If you ever meet anybody from Jeffersonville, know that their opinion does not carry water.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind if I ever go into that area. And as well, we look forward to seeing this contest, as we mentioned to you earlier on in this show, this double header, where we'll see, of course, yourself and your tag team partner, Tracy Evans, teaming up, take on Hardcore 69. And you've said it before, you're also confident, just like Hammer was with his opponent, that you're very confident you guys are going to get the victory over Hardcore 69, because you're saying this is the potential last month they're teaming together. So you may think, oh, it's easy peasy for us, but on the other hand, they might be more determined to beat your asses, to get that pinfall, and then to leave on a high.
Oh, I'm sure they are chomping at the bit to get to us, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I've actually, back in 2010, I was working a show, and I was in the opening match and the main event. And in the opening match, I tore my rotator cuff.
Oh, no.
And popped my shoulder out. And did not go to the hospital or anything, stayed because in the main event, I was working as a partner with Madman Pondo at the time.
Right.
I fought through it to get that time in the ring with somebody like him.
Yeah.
That was almost 14 years ago now. So for the script to be flipped and now to be standing across the ring from him, this is kind of makes it worth it. Fighting through that pain. I still don't have full mobility in my arm because it never, it was never treated. I just kind of let it heal on its own. And I did that for that experience with him. And now, it's kind of come full circle.
Yeah, it goes full circle because when you're in the ring in 2010, you got to see how he works in the ring. But I guess as well, he might have changed things up since then. So there might be some hidden features to Madman Pondo from previously. Let's see. We got another comment from Mike. He says Charles Colton versus Mongoose. Jeffersonville street fight. 1 year later, Bucket Lucci.
Yeah, that first Jeffersonville street fight, I can admit that Mongoose did pin my shoulders down. However, moments later, Mongoose was driven headfirst through a TV screen, and I got up and walked away.
Yes, I think you got the better deal from that, didn't you?
Yeah. I may have lost the match, but I walked out of the arena on my own power. So
great to see. Well, we wish you the best of luck on Friday night, December the 15th, the Jeffersonville Arena with your partner Tracy Evans, and you take on, of course, Hardcore 69. It all goes down. My guest Charles thinks they're going to get the upper hand. We'll see what happens. He's as confident as Hammer. It would be hilarious, wouldn't it, if they both walked in and both lost because they were too confident and didn't really think their opponents were that ready. But we'll see. They might even make me eat my words by saying they were ready, by being overconfident, because it works. Well, we'll see what happens either way. We wish you the best of luck, and we hope to see you maybe on the show again in the new year. So I hope you have a good Christmas and New Year as well.
Likewise, same to you.
Thank you.
Definitely hope to be back in 2024. We'd love to be back on the show, and hopefully with some more gold behind me.
Yeah, more gold. Yeah, you got to stick up behind your couch, I guess. I think that's what you want, isn't a couch at the moment.
Yeah. You gotta be comfortable,
Yeah, no, don't blame you. But again, we can show our guests social media right there. You can find him on Facebook, on the X, and on the Instagram, all on your screen right now. Make sure to like him, share him around, follow him, tell him more about Charles Colton and Tracy Evans, the hottest tag team in XCF. And if you enjoyed my episode of this evening, I tell you should subscribe, because you will not believe who I'm going to be announcing tomorrow night on my show, because we've got a rock and roll legend coming onto the show, a British lead singer from a band which started in the 1960s. We're going to bring on somebody huge from that era onto my show this Tuesday night. Gets announced tomorrow night, only on my social media. So if you're not really following me, you should do so. I mentioned before, I've got almost 200 followers on Facebook. You can find me on X, and you can find me on Instagram. Those three are my official social media that I use mostly. So if you want to see more, I want to see who that's going to be, check him out. Follow me, and you'll find out. And as well, if you're new around here, make sure to smash that like button. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about my interview with Charles and the Hammer tonight, representing XCF. And as well, if you're new around here, want to see more of my content, want to see more of my great episodes, then smash that subscribe button. It takes 5 seconds or less to smash that subscribe button. We've got over 224 subscribers. And until the next episode drops, enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon or evening.